Last week, the speculative small-cap drug stocks all got hammered. But now that we've entered the second quarter, it seems like this country's economic growth could be moderating, something that makes all these pharmaceutical companies more attractive. But does that mean it's safe to start circling back to the high-risk, high-reward drug companies, especially when so many secondaries are suddenly coming out of the woodwork to take advantage of the amazing first quarter this group just finished? Let's take a look at this question through the lens of TherapeuticsMD, TXMD for you home gamers, a pharmaceutical company focused on women's health, in particular by developing advanced hormone replacement therapies, although they also have a small sideline in selling prenatal vitamins. The real story here, though, is TherapeuticsMD's pipeline, which contains a host of formulations to deal with complications that can plague women after menopause. Considering the potential in the company's pipeline, TherapeuticsMD doesn't seem that expensive. $1 billion market capitalization, or a stock that trades at just north of $6 a share. But remember, this whole group can be very volatile, and playing FDA roulette with a development stage drug company is never a sure thing. Still, this feels like an intriguing opportunity. So let's take a closer look at the speculative stock with Robert Finizio, the co-founder and CEO of TherapeuticsMD, to learn more about his company and the prospects. Mr. Finizio, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir. Sorry to stumble on your name. Okay, you have got 8 potential products, 2 of which are in phase 3, of which we think could each potentially generate $1 billion in sales. But our viewers are not familiar with what these products do, so please explain.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, first of all. It's great to be here. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
So, first of all, to understand what our 2 lead phase 3 candidates are, you have to understand what a woman goes through in menopause. Okay. Menopause is when a woman's ovaries stop producing 2 hormones. Number 1, estrogen. Number 2, progesterone. All the FDA-approved products out there are synthetic today that doctors use to get rid of the hot flashes caused by this reduction in estrogen.
And nothing new since 1990, according to your research. That was breakthrough.
No new lower effective doses, no new natural estrogens. Okay. Since the Women's Health Initiative, a large study showing an increase in breast cancer and cardiovascular using synthetic hormones, women have moved to natural hormones. The problem that we look to solve is that there's no FDA-approved natural hormone combination. We're the first people to put that into phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. There are currently 30 million prescriptions a year, and at a branded price, that's a $6 billion market opportunity filled exclusively by compounding pharmacies.
Right. Now, but let me ask you something that my executive producer, Regina Gilgan, said I should ask you, which I think is right. We see all these ads. We know that there are billions of dollars spent on erectile dysfunction, not nearly as important as what you're talking. Why have this giant unmet need? Why has it not been addressed by the Pfizers of the world?
All of large pharma abandoned women's health research with hormones.
Why?
They all went the non-hormonal route.
Because they're worried about cancer, worried about cardio?
Well, it's funny you say Pfizer. I actually have the director of worldwide women's health research who works for us now, who developed Duavi. It's the most recent approval of a combination hormone. Okay. It's not selling yet. One of the big issues are women just want natural hormones, and they don't exist, and that's what we look to do.
Okay, you are in many ways involved in things where it seems like throughout the literature, you're trying to get women in tests, trying to get visibility. What do people do? Because I think if people knew that there was something, these are terrible things that happen in menopause.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If they knew that there were trials and the things are pretty safe, they would want to be in. And yet throughout you try to say, listen, we need more visibility. What do people do?
Well, from a visibility standpoint, if you need hormones, the only option you have is to go to your doctor and to go to a compounding pharmacy, right?
There's only 2 of them in the whole city.
Yeah, well,
I know. I mean, you know how hard it is to find a compounding pharmacy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. And there's risks there. Right. And we look to remove those risks, prove the right ratios and the right doses, and hopefully have great phase 3 data and get it approved.
Okay, now you have had to you did a February 2015 secondary, 13.6 million. You did one in July 2014. You did one. Now, they all worked. I mean, I'm not saying that. But now, why do you have to continue to finance? Is it because the tests are so expensive to do?
They are. They are. We've only raised about $200 million since we started the company and have gone public, right? That's not much to have 2 phase 3 assets. Typically, it's about $2.5 billion to take things through phase 3. We still have $110 million in the bank, and we should have both patients, last patient in both studies next quarter.
Okay. Also, I mean, you've got your chief clinical officer, Dr. Bernick, 20 years, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Boca Raton Regional Hospital. And then your chairman of the board is Tommy Thompson.
Sure is. We're lucky to have him.
So how did that come about? People who don't know, he was HHS. So.
When the last company I started was called CareFusion. I started in 2001, sold it in 2006. It's so funny because Tommy was Secretary of Health at that point. He actually was in office when the Women's Health Initiative came out, and he feels if natural hormones were used during the WHI, the outcome would have been different. He's very close to this company. He's doing everything he can to help us because this is, he feels, a blemish on his political record that needs to be fixed to help women.
I hadn't even thought of that. Oh. Now, this is also, he understands, as you do, the population growth of the target audience is growing by leaps and bounds.
I saw on your show, 10,000 women today are turning 65.
It's just incredible. Now,
hey, I'm a fan.
Yeah, well, I know you obviously are. You are, so thank you. And then you also have I should mention the vitamins because they're selling now, right?
That's an infrastructure play for us.
Right. So go ahead, just because people, you do have revenues.
It's a profitable, small piece of our business. It grew at 71% last year in 2014. But here's the key. Okay. No one's promoting in this sector of VVA or hot flashes. So what we're doing is keeping that infrastructure in place so we can take this to market and we don't have to partner it, and we're ready to do that.
All right. Well, look, I want people to do their homework because this is a small cap company. I thought the niche was incredibly powerful and the unmet need, one of the biggest we've ever had on the show. But I know this is tough stuff.
It sure is.
Tough stuff to do.
Sure is, but we'll get it done.
Okay, that's Rob Finizio. He's the co-founder and CEO of TherapeuticsMD, and you heard he founded CareFusion, which you know was one of our biggest picks that we've ever had on Mad Money. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.